With just over 100 hours in the finals, I have to say it's been one of the most refreshing and fun games in the past few years of gaming, for me at least. The game is unique and has its own gameplay style that makes it super fun. With its unique gameplay, gadgets, and team play, I wanted to make a video highlighting some tips that I've learned over my 100 hours in the finals. So in today's video, I will be providing you 10 tips and tricks in the finals to help improve your gameplay. The first tip of the video is going to be throwable canisters. Each map has dozens of throwable canisters scattered around the map. This includes smokes, explosives, gas, and goo canisters. These throwables allow you to manipulate the maps and create diversions for your team and the enemies. The explosive barrels can be used to destroy parts of the map, while the gas canisters can be used to defend cash outs or hurt your enemies. All of these throwables can be used in very creative ways. For example, you can create a nuclear bomb by strapping 2 C4s to an explosive barrel and then sending it at your enemy, detonating it with the C4 charge. As I'm editing this footage, they did nerf the nuke. You can still do it, but in the 1.8 update, they did add gravity to the propane canisters, so you won't be able to make the nukes go as far anymore. You can do this pretty much with every single class. It just depends what you run on that class. So for example, the heavies will use the C4, the mediums will use the explosive mines, and the lights have the breach charge as well. The second tip of the video is going to be map destruction. The finals map destruction is Battlefield on steroids. Every part of the map is fully destructible, allowing you and your teammates to manipulate the map in ways that you want to. You can get pretty creative with this feature. For example, if the cash out is 2 floors above you, and if you have enough explosives, you can bring the entire cash out to you. Another example of map destruction would be making the cash out tougher to get to. Now, what I mean by this is you can completely level a building, making it super tough to traverse for the enemies and even harder to steal. If a cash out is on the first floor and you break the roof right on top of it, it will interact with the cash out, knocking it on its side, completely covering it. This next tip is related to zip lines. Using zip lines is one of the best ways to get around every map next to jump pads. The quickest way to get rid of a zip line is by meleeing the metal pole twice. This will pop the zip line immediately and is helpful if you don't want your opponents getting an easy way up to where you are. You can also just shoot out the zip lines, but it takes much longer to do so. I've noticed that it takes about like half a mag to actually get it to pop, but a melee can actually just punch it twice. You can also get a speed boost at the end of the zip line by jumping off before you reach the end of the zip. This kind of slingshots you forward and gives you a little bit more speed, which is very helpful in this game, and pair that with sliding, you'll actually get pretty far. Movement is one of the key skills that you're going to need to learn in the finals. Since the gameplay is extremely fast-paced, you're going to want to learn the best ways to move around the map. Paired with zip lines, this next tip is going to be jump pads. This one's pretty simple, but when you place a jump pad down, instead of just walking into it normally, you want to run and slide and get that extra movement when hitting the pad. After hitting the pad, once you land, you're going to want to spam the jump, as it will continue your movement for a little bit, getting a couple extra hops and gaining a little bit more speed. So when you do place your jump pad down, don't just walk into it, because it's going to send you straight up in the air and you're just going to be a sitting clay duck flying through the air and people are going to be able to beam you down. You're going to actually want to get some movement sliding into it, or as a light sliding into it, then grappling it. Pairing it with other movements is going to be super helpful. And jump pads are just very, very good to get around the map. For example, if you want to get on top of a building, it goes about 3 to 4 floors, so you can get all the way to the top by bounce padding up. If you guys are enjoying this video so far and have learned something new, please feel free to leave a like down below, as it greatly helps push this video into YouTube's algorithm. It's an unknown beast, so I would really appreciate it. And consider subscribing for more finals content. Tip number 5 is very basic, but I think every player should spend a good amount of time here, and that's the practice range. Every game, or almost every game, has a practice range. I feel like it's very underutilized, since most people just want to hop right into it. But to get better at the finals, you're going to need to master recoil for some of your favorite guns, and the best way to do that is the practice range. In the practice range, you can work on pretty much anything from rappelling, to movement, to recoil control, to throwing throwables, to seeing how much damage your guns actually do. But with each gun in the finals having its own unique recoil pattern, you're going to want to spend some time here and learn how they function. This next tip is going to be tip number 6, and this is going to be for those that don't have any movement perks like a jump pad or a zip line. So this is kind of gearing towards you heavies. This tip is going to be window jumping. Now, let me explain, because you're probably wondering how the hell can window jumping be a tip. But what I mean by this is every single building in this game can be climbed from the outside of the building via the windows. In order to do so, you need to stand outside in the windowsill, back up just enough where you don't fall off the frame of the window, then spam jump on the window looking above you. You can repeat this process until you get to the top of the building, and you can even jump past the little lip of the roof if you get close enough to the top. This tip can help save some time instead of running up the stairs or if the stairs are completely gone in the building. But with the finals, like I said, destruction is key, so if enemy team decides to take out the staircase for whatever reason and you have no way of getting up there and you have no jump pad, no zip line, and the exterior of the building is still intact, you're able to window jump up the building and scale all the way up to the roof. Tip number 7 is going to be elemental interactions. There are 4 different throwable elements in the finals, and that of course is smoke, fire, gas, and goo. I won't include the propane canister since once it explodes it pretty much turns into fire, but with all of these elements they interact in different ways. Fire explosives can light goos on fire, causing a chain reaction. Smoke can put out the flames, and fire can cause a chain reaction to gas, catching it fire right away and immediately vaporizing all of the gas. Another super helpful part for the elemental interaction is gas. There's a ton of gas in this game, and if gas is hanging around in an objective and you have no way of getting through, a pyro grenade will clear up all of that gas right away, evaporating it and dealing damage to those who are in it. So the elements can kind of clear each other in some sense, so it's super important to know how they interact with each other. But one other tip I have is for the propane throwable. Now, if you guys didn't know, you can actually cook the propane tank. You can do this by throwing the propane tank, then immediately hitting your grab key, and it will pull it back and it'll be on a timer. Once you grab it, it basically sets a fuse timer before it explodes. You can time this right and basically make an instant explosive bomb instead of just throwing it normally and watching it fly to God knows where. The second to last tip that I have for you in this video is going to be team play. In a game where team composition is one of the most important factors in winning, you are going to want to stick around your team as much as you can. Just like any team-based game, the finals is all about team play and team fighting. If you're caught alone and you're nowhere near your teammates, it's super easy for you to get absolutely melted. Engaging in a 1v3, a 1v2, or even a 1v1 will almost always lead you to dying and wasting a token for your team. You have a higher chance to live when you're around your teammates. They can help assist with healing you and providing cover, or even providing cover fire with their weapons and abilities. So don't be that solo queuer who wants to go for frags, plays light, and uses the sniper, and then leaves their team to defend or capture the objectives alone. That player is not going to win in the finals. So you're going to want to stick with the team play, team fight. And finally, no pun intended, we have the last tip for this video, and that is going to be the death camera. When you die in this game, you're not fully useless. When you die, you can actually free look and ping around the entire map. Once you die, your camera actually becomes freeform, so you can pretty much travel the map and you can actively ping for the people that are still alive. So if you notice you got wiped on the other side of the map and you know where the team is going, you can actually follow them with the camera and ping them. When playing ranked in tournaments, this is extremely helpful to your team and will determine what your team should do next, whether or not to rotate, fall back, save a team wipe, or push the cash out. When you die, you do have a good amount of time before spawning in or even during a team wipe, so don't just sit there and hop on your phone doom scrolling Twitter or TikTok. Help your team out just like you would in Rainbow Six Siege if you do die. I know it's hard to ask for, especially in that game, hopping on cams, but like I said, hopping on cams, you have a second life. It's very, very helpful, and it still keeps you engaged when you die. But with that said, I'm going to wrap up this 10 tips and tricks video for the finals. If you guys enjoyed the video or learned something new, let me know down in the comments and leave a like on the video. Also comment, I want the V-Bucks down below, and I won't pick a winner for the next video. But if you do, that's how I know you made it to the end. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, morning, or evening, whatever it may be. Take care, brush your hair, be kind to one another, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Later.